I say that we adults own our own bodies, and that means we should be free to put whatever we want in our bodies, and that includes drugs, all drugs, aspirin, Kit Kat bars, marijuana, cocaine, whatever. Now that may sound scary to you. Wouldn't drug use go up and abuse go up? Not necessarily. Portugal, 10 years ago, decriminalized all drugs, and drug use has not risen there. Drug abuse actually dropped. They took sexiness out of recreational drugs by decriminalizing them. And I say that's far better than our drug war, which has police in America smashing down 100 doors a day. For my last special, I interviewed a man who says I'm totally wrong.
We should be kicking down more doors.
Paul Chabot was a White House drug czar advisor under President Bush and Clinton.
They're not kicking the door if somebody's smoking a doobie on their couch. They're kicking the somebody who's a violent person with a known history to be dangerous.
Paul Chabot didn't like what I said in my special, so I invited him to join us here tonight. So, Paul, criticize away.
Thanks. So much to criticize, so little time.
Go for it.
I appreciate the opportunity to be with you here today. We put together a book just for you, and this book is titled Everything Stossel Needs to Know About Drug Legalization is Bad for America, and it's signed here, created by your favorite door-kicking cops from across America. So, sir, from us to you, a little guide.
Thank you. Is this supposed to be me here, this mustache?
That is. That mustache a little smaller than yours, but we try to get close to it.
All right, so what I get wrong? I mean, and there are plenty of cops on my side of this argument, too.
Well, I wouldn't say plenty. I would say a select few who belong to law enforcement, anti-law enforcement organizations that believe in legalizing drugs, like Law Enforcement Against Prohibition. Look, every organization has its negative 10%. These folks go to that crowd. Let me get to Portugal. The facts that were on the show were absolutely incorrect. The fact is, between 2004 and 2006, drug use skyrocketed. We look at Spain, they do not decriminalize drugs. Their drug usage has been on the way down. Portugal is no example for the United States of America.
All right, well, first of all, we went there. We talked to the cops. We talked to the drug enforcement people, and they said, we were skeptical at first, but it's better now. And drug use, maybe it went up because now it's not such a big crime. People are more likely to admit they use drugs. Drug abuse went down.
On your show, what we saw was decriminalization in Portugal, which means basically you don't get arrested, correct?
Right.
But on the street with your cameras, you had a lady smoking a joint openly in the public.
Right.
I think that flies in the face of common sense and morality.
I can see that outside the studio.
Well, hopefully not, but we're seeing more of it in cities that allow this kind of nonsense, like San Francisco. I'm a dad. I got 3 kids. Would I want to raise them in San Francisco? No. Look at the parks today. It's people doing dope, shooting up needles. Where I come from, in my town...
It's illegal in San Francisco.
Well, it's illegal on the books, but what are the politicians doing about it in that town? They allow it. So what are the parents doing? They're not taking their kids to the park more.
But if it were legal, wouldn't it be easier to regulate? There'd be less of that in parks. People would take the stuff in their homes.
Absolutely not. Let me give you a few important facts. First off, I don't refer to this as a drug war, and we shouldn't. People say we have a war on drugs, we have a war on poverty. We're never going to eliminate drugs 100% from the streets of the United States. That's an impossibility. Let me ask you this. Is reducing drug use by 50% over the last 40 years a failure?
If that's the case, that's news to me.
Well, quite honestly, I think you've been tricked. I think you've been fooled. Listen, we want people to do what they want to do responsibly, correct? I want to live in a community where I can live free, where I don't have drug usage rampant, where I can put my kids safe on a street, on a school bus, on a plane, driving down a road. We've done a lot of great things with drugs.
There's 2 points in these statistics. I don't think I'm being lied to. I went to Holland, marijuana's legal, and the officials told me this works. And the data show that fewer Dutch kids smoke marijuana than American kids do because they took the sexiness out. And you say drug use has gone down so much. It's gone down so much, but we're still arresting 1 person every 19 seconds for drugs?
Okay.
Why is that good?
2 points. Let me break those down for you. First off, when we look at the Holland-Dutch model, things have changed in the last few years. They've looked at the drug problem with marijuana and the prevalence and began to crack down. The red light district...
They've tweaked the law a little bit,
no,
they're not repealing it.
Oh, they are very concerned about it. All of Europe is. We talked about Al Capone and Prohibition.
Yeah.
When we got to that point, Al Capone was looking at milk beyond beer, beyond the hard liquor, to make money. Because for these organizations, the drug cartels, the organized crime syndicates, it's not about the substance, it's about making money.
It is about the illegal substance. You make money because it's illegal. He couldn't make money selling milk.
Well, he would have. That's where he was going next if he didn't get locked up in jail. There is a great documentary out there by Burns on PBS that I watched to prep for this.
I thank you. You want more prohibition because prohibition works so well? Thank you, Paul Chabot.
You're welcome.
Next, should prostitution be legal? Of course not, says former prosecutor. Yes, it should be, says this sex worker. They'll both be here to debate that. I think the prostitute's right.